So we are continuing today in Meretz Hashem in Pirkei, Mishna, chapter 2, the 8th Mishna. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Kiba mehillel misham. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai received a tradition from Hillel and Shammai. What did he say? Hu Omer used to say, "L'madat Torah harbe." If a person learned a lot of Torah, al Hachzek tova li'atzmecha. Do not go ahead and think highly of yourself. Ki lekach notzart. For that is why you were created. Chamisha Talmidim hayu Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 disciples. Now, of course, it goes without saying Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had many more than 5 disciples, but 5 primary students. Ve'eluhin Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus, Rabbi Yoshua ben Hananya, Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, Rabbi Shimon ben Hasanel, Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. These are the 5 Talmidim. Hu hayamonish bachan. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, the Rebbe, used to go ahead and highlight the positive qualities of each of his students. And he would say, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus, Borsud she'ino ma'abetiba. He's like a cemented cistern that does not lose a drop of water. Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananya, Ashrei oladato. Praiseworthy is the one who gave birth to him. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen Chassid. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen is a Chassid, is a pious individual. Rabbi Shimon ben Hasanel Yirei Chet. Rabbi Shimon ben Hasanel is fearful of sin. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach Mayon Hamiskaber. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach is an overflowing spring. Hu haya Omer. He used to say, Rabbi Yochanan used to say, if you had all the sages of Israel, all the Talmidei Chacham on one side of the scale, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus b'kafshni, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus on the other side of the scale, Machriyas kulam. Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus would weigh down the other side of the scale. In other words, so great was Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus that his personal greatness was greater than the combined greatness of the Talmidei Chacham of Klal Yisrael. Avos-Chapter used to say, Avos-Chapter used to say, if you had all the sages of Israel on one side of the scale, Rabbi Elazar ben Horkinus Aviman, even Rabbi Elazar ben Horkinus was with them, Rabbi Elazar ben Arach b'kafshni, Rabbi Elazar ben Azra was on the other side of the scale, Machriyas kulam, he would weigh down the scale. So a lot to unpack in this Mishnah. Let's begin. So the first thing, of course, that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says is that if a person has learned a lot of Torah, do not think highly of yourself, for that is why you were created. So the Rabbeinu Yonah writes, "V'adayin ato b'tchila umasai tasegat emtza v'yadasov." Now, what's the idea? It's true that it sounds a little bit strange because when I do something good, I should have a positive feeling. I should think positively about myself. Why should I not be entitled to think highly of myself when I do something good? So what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai seems to be cautioning us against is this concern that sometimes when a person does something good, they kind of feel like, okay, I'm finished. So rather, he says, even if you've learned a lot of Torah, recognize it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning. And because it's just the beginning, there's so much work to do. Do not get carried away with the accomplishment. He goes on, he says, Chamisha Talmidim, there were 5 different disciples. Ultimately, again, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. And remember, again, the Mishnah discusses the prominent pieces or the prominent qualities of each of them. So when it comes to Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus, the Mishnah calls him a borsid she'ino ma'abetiba, a cemented cistern that never lost a drop. And the Rabbeinu Yonah writes, Perush shelo shachach me'olam davar mikol mashlamad. He never forgot anything that he learned. The same way that a cemented cistern never loses a drop of water, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus never went ahead and forgot a drop of Torah. Now you would think to yourself, well, okay, maybe it's just that he has a photographic memory. Obviously, a person doesn't get a shkoyach for having a photographic memory because that's not something you do. That's something you're given. Rather, when it says that Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus never forgot a word of Torah, it's because at the end of the day, Torah was important to him. You know, you could tell a lot about a person by the things they remember and the things they forget, right? No one ever forgets to eat for 3 days because eating is important. Yet, I might forget an anniversary or a birthday. Why? Again, it's not malicious, it's just often because it may not be as important to me as other things. The fact that Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinus never forgot a word of Torah highlights the fact that every single word was precious. Every single word was important. Every single word was meaningful to him. As such, he never forgot. Rabbi Shimon ben Hananya, the Mishna says, Ashrei oladato, praiseworthy is the one who gave birth to him. So here the Rabbeinu Yonah understands that what this meant was Rabbi Shimon ben Hananya was the complete package. He had excellent midos ben adam lachabero in his excellent interpersonal behavior, and also incredible in his behavior towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was the full package, and therefore, again, the best way to compliment him is to say praiseworthy is the one who birthed him. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen is a chassid Right? What does it mean? What's the definition of a chassid? So here the Rabbeinu Yonah writes, Shaya osa lifnei mishuras hadin. He went above and beyond, which is just an important idea in general. What is the definition of a chassid? So whereas the tzaddik lives up to expectations, the chassid attempts to surpass expectations, to go ahead and transcend expectations. I only have to do X, I want to do X plus Y. Rabbi Yeshua ben Nesanel was yirei, fearful of sin. What does this mean? Writes Rabbi Yonah, he made protective fences. In other words, how can you tell if someone fears sin? So they don't draw the line in life between mutter and asr, that which is permitted, that which is prohibited. Rather, they create for themselves a safety buffer. And that way, again, if I do transgress, I'm transgressing in the buffer and not chas v'shalom within the world of sin. Incredible. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach was a ma'ina miskaber, literally translated, an overflowing spring. So here the Rabbi Yonah explains, sometimes we think that the more we give, the less we have. But just like a flowing spring, the more water you remove, the more water could refill the well. So too, when one has Torah and one shares that Torah with others, the more you give of your spirituality to others, the more you get. Incredible. The Rabbi Yonah then ends off again with the discussion about who had the greater character traits. Was it Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkonos? Was it Rabbi Elazar ben Arach? But I just want to add on that looking very profoundly at the different character traits that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai complemented in his Talmidim. So again, you have Rabbi Elazar ben Horkonos, the cemented cistern. Again, is Torah important to me? And if it is important to me, then ultimately, again, I'll have retention. Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, Ashrei Oladato, in life, to strive to be the complete package of proper midos, proper behaviors, interpersonal behaviors, and proper behaviors between myself and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen was a chassid. Don't live life just simply living up to expectations, but try to surpass expectations. Don't just do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants of you to do, but rather go above and beyond. Rabbi Yeshua ben Nesanel, yirei, fearful of sin. Create your own personal protective boundaries. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our triggers. We all have the things that sometimes send us down a road that I should not be going down. Don't draw the line between mutter and asr, but create for yourself a spiritual safety net, so that if you do cross the line, you're still within the realm of that which is permitted and not within the prohibited. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, Amayin HaMeskaber, a flowing spring. Sometimes in life, like we just mentioned before, we think the more we give to others, whether it's of our material resources or our spiritual resources, the less we have for ourselves. But again, it's not true. Rather, the way it works in life is the more you give to the other, the more you are ready to receive from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All right, we'll stop over here for today. Shkayach everyone, wishing everyone a wonderful day.